study released earlier this year has provided yet another reason that building a multi-billion-dollar border wall is a stupid idea. It could actually lead to more permanent undocumented immigrants, which seems odd. Why would it do that? Well, the study looked at the massive amount of money that was spent on securing the border over the past 3 decades and concluded that the buildup of border enforcement from 1986 to 2010 failed to stop the inflow of migrants and instead backfired by reducing the outflow of migrants back to Mexico. Another example of that, greater enforcement rates raised the cost of undocumented border crossing, which required undocumented migrants to stay longer in the U.S. to make a trip profitable. Now, for hardcore border security enthusiasts, that might seem weird. What does that mean? They imagine that immigrants from outside of the country desperately want to come in to suckle on the teat of our social services until they die decades later. That's not actually how it worked out historically. What would generally happen for immigrants, especially from Mexico, is that they would come into the country for a season to work in often seasonal work and then return home, perhaps alternating over the course of multiple years with some periods in Mexico and some periods in the U.S. When you spend a ton of money to make it difficult to get back into the U.S., you change that calculus. And this is Douglas Massey, a Princeton University professor who was involved in the study, who says, summarizing, "It's a waste of taxpayers' money not only because massive border enforcement backfired in the past, but even more because the net volume of undocumented migration has been zero or negative since 2008. And so early on, when we had been working to secure the border, if you still wanted to get into America, you can. The border is simply too long. No wall is going to stop people from getting across it, including tunneling underneath it, if they desperately want to. But if it makes it cost prohibitive to do that multiple times, then you are telling the undocumented immigrants in the country now, you had better stay for all time, because if you leave, you might not get back in. And so previously, you'd had people coming in and people moving out, and border security stopped that from happening, leading to the large undocumented immigrant population that we have today. However, the situation has changed between the U.S. and Mexico and the rest of Central and South America. And now, in fact, more immigrants are leaving than are coming in, a fact that has been lost on Donald Trump and other Republicans. Like, they believe that there is this flood of immigrants coming across the border, and they're basing their policy ideas on that. But that is a fantasy. It's not reflected in the actual numbers. It's not reflected in actual reality, which makes their policy all the more ridiculous. So in short, spending billions of dollars on securing the border, whether you're going to do it on some sort of massive Great Wall of China style barrier or otherwise, is a stupid, stupid idea for one more reason than we had previously known it to be. And that's my final judgment.